think the thing that really drew us first to Agile was the openness, the transparency with Agile, the emphasis on direct communication. We saw as being critical enablers to us to be able to drive improvements to our quality at the same time as doing things more efficiently and accelerating the development of our people because of those regular interactions and communication and challenge that's involved. So it felt like one of the classic win-win-win opportunities to really take the department forward. In retrospect, the easy bits are the bits that are around process and activity, because we're all used to following processes, we're all used to learning new actions to take, and people will do those things and work at them and really throw themselves at them diligently. And so adopting any new ceremonies that involve sprints or stand-ups or review meetings, those things were really much more straightforward, I think, overall to do. At the heart of Agile, as we talked about before, for us is this idea about communication, transparency, and therefore how one behaves and how one feels about things, more than the hard content things of what the job entails. And because people are perfectionists, doing new things comes with a fear of not doing them very well. And because you're doing them in an environment here that involves lots of transparency and communication, that learning is done quite publicly. And so that's quite a nerve-wracking thing for people, and so generates some reluctance to really expose oneself by engaging with them. And so that just needs a lot of working through. I think to take the second part of the question first in non-traditional style, really there weren't very many issues for us with the wider organisation for two reasons, I think. Firstly, because it is really a win-win. Our stakeholders find that the more we communicate with them and the more they in turn communicate with us, the better we all understand one another's objectives, drivers, blockers, fears, concerns, and the better we're able to deal with those things to deliver the right outcomes for the bank and its customers, which is the thing we're all most focused on, because that's what our jobs are all about. So that wasn't really an issue. Plus, the bank, the second part of that answer is the bank itself is doing lots of transformation to Agile in terms of operating practices, technology development, and so on. And so it is quite a broad spread of people within the organisation trying to do similar things. So in terms of dealing with any cultural issues within our team, that really is about reiterating and proving by action that we're creating a learning and safe to fail environment. So it's about encouraging strongly people to take these leaps, supporting them when they don't go 100% well every time, lauding those individuals regularly for that effort, and giving them the coaching and feedback loops whilst it's going on so that they can improve and see that they're improving while they do it. So reinforcement of okay to fail and help with failing a little bit less or a little bit less uncomfortably each time whilst really learning to do something is the key thing. A bit like how we all learned when we were young and we were kids with minds like sponges before we worried so much about things like that. We all learned in that way, and it's in helping us to learn in that same way, that really genuine learning mindset. I think we gleaned the things we hoped we would glean from the process. I think we have much better relationships with our stakeholders because we communicate better and because we therefore understand the business and the drivers of the business better and are able to communicate in a much more common language. We can add value to them in a much more tangible way in terms of the right solutions to the things that we identify. The other benefit I think we offer, because of the iterative nature of working in an agile way, we are able to attack the most important things soonest, and so there's less waiting and hoping that things are going to be okay when maybe they're not. So when there is a problem, the biggest problems come to the surface more quickly and can be solved more quickly, and so people feel the value in that, because they are predisposed, our stakeholders, to want to do things right and to do the right things in the right way. And so when things aren't working, they actually do want to know that and get on with it, and this helps them do that more quickly. So they feel the quality benefit in that way. From the other part of the perspective is, it does enable us to get to the roots of problems more quickly. That means we're able to cover more ground in the course of the year, which is something clearly we all want to do as managers, is to improve our productivity in that way and our efficiency, and we see that coming through. So we get both benefits of quality and productivity coming through in what we're doing. So we feel those tangible benefits, and we can see ourselves doing more pieces of work than we otherwise would have done and getting great value from it. Two things, and I'll say them and then explain them. The first thing is, understand what you want to get out of it. So don't do something just because it's the coming thing and you think it's just the latest fad and you should try something, because you won't then understand your objectives, so you won't know what you're going for. And the second thing is, don't get too hung up on all the jargon. Like any industry and theory of project management, there is an awful lot of theory and an awful lot of jargon and an awful lot of people who advise you on the perfect way to do something. You can get far too hung up on that and lose sight of that objective that we were talking about. And we were quite clear in the end, as we worked through what our objectives were going to be, and we're able to focus back on that through the discovery phase. So those would be my two top tips.